In 18th century Europe, two sisters, Elvira and Elma, are traveling with their mother, Rebecca, by carriage to a new home. Rebecca is marrying a widower named Otto, who has a daughter, Agnes, about the same age as the two sisters. At the end of the journey, the three arrive at a grand mansion, where Otto and Agnes are waiting for them. Agnes immediately takes a liking to Elvira. After a small wedding ceremony, Agnes takes Elvira to show her new room. On the way, they meet Isaac, who takes care of the horses and is a good friend of Agnes. In the room, Elvira shows Isaac a book of poems by Prince Julian and says that her dream is to marry the prince one day. That night, the family gathers for dinner. Otto cuts the wedding cake, and the girls expect him to give the first slice to Rebecca, but he throws it in Elvira's face as a joke. The joke falls flat, but Elvira laughs to avoid spoiling the mood. Moments later, Otto starts coughing blood, splattering it onto Agnes's face. He collapses into his plate and dies, only hours after the wedding. Later, Elvira visits Agnes with chocolates to comfort her. She tells Agnes she also lost her father when she was young and eventually overcame the grief. Agnes feels offended, believing Elvira is belittling her pain. She claims Otto only married Rebecca for her wealth, and Elvira soon learns that Rebecca too married Otto for the same reason. Both families were broke. Distressed, Elvira runs to tell her mother, only to find Rebecca arguing with debt collectors who came for Otto's unpaid debts. After they leave, Rebecca collapses and confesses that this marriage was her last chance at a comfortable life. Now, with age and two daughters, she fears she'll never marry again, and the family will soon be ruined. Seeing her mother's despair, Elvira promises she'll marry Prince Julian and make life better for them all. But Rebecca doubts her, mocking her awkwardness and plain looks. Her only real hope, she believes, is young Elma, who isn't yet of marriageable age. The next day, a royal messenger arrives with news Prince Julian is hosting a ball to find a bride. Agnes receives an invitation, but she convinces the messenger to give one to Elvira too. Overjoyed, Elvira rushes to tell her mother, who agrees to help, but insists they must fix her appearance first. Rebecca calls a special doctor, Dr. Aesthetic, who promises to make Elvira the most beautiful girl in the region. He warns, though, that the process will be painful. Rebecca consents. The doctor begins by correcting her smile, using metal pliers to remove her braces. The pain is severe, but what follows is worse. He breaks her nose with an instrument and applies a metal mold to reshape it. Elvira must wear it for several days until it sets into the perfect shape. After this, Rebecca sends Elvira to an etiquette school to prepare for the ball. There, Professor Sophie and her assistant, Madame Vanna, teach the girls manners and dancing. During lessons, Elvira's clumsiness and the metal mask irritate Vanna, who punishes her by sending her to the back of the line while praising Agnes. Rivalry brews between them. At dinner,
Tensions rise when Agnes mentions her father's unburied body still lying in one of the mansion's rooms. Rebecca insists all their money must go toward Elvira's training. Otto's funeral can wait until Elvira marries the prince. Agnes storms off in disgust. At school, Sophie teaches the girls graceful walking and how to use a fan elegantly. Agnes excels. Elvira struggles. When a ranking list of the best students is posted, Elvira finds her name misspelled and at the very bottom, but she refuses to give up. In dance class, she tries to perform first, but Vanna interrupts and insults her, saying that she only accepted her because of Rebecca's money. Humiliated, Elvira begins to resent Agnes deeply.
Rebecca adds to her misery at home by forcing her to eat less to fit into a corset. Depressed, Elvira sneaks sweets at night. The next day, Sophie notices her despair and gives her a locket, saying, "You're beautiful. You just need your inner beauty to match your outer form. When the time comes, open this and swallow what's inside." Later, during a picnic, Elvira shows the locket to her sister, Elma, promising to reveal its secret if she tells no one. Inside is a worm's egg meant to eat away food inside her body so she'll lose weight. Horrified, Elma pleads with her not to do it, accusing her of madness. But Elvira, obsessed with beauty, swallows the egg anyway. While returning, she encounters Prince Julian, who mocks her nose mold along with his friends. Humiliated, she runs off, yet still admires him from afar. That night, sneaking through the stables, Elvira finds Agnes with Isaac in an intimate moment. Furious, she tells Rebecca, who attacks Agnes and throws her and Isaac out. Agnes is forced to live as a servant, tending the fields and animals. Meanwhile, Elvira's worm plan works. She loses weight rapidly and fits into her corset. When the day comes to remove the face mold, Rebecca is thrilled, but she wants more. Dr. Aesthetic is called again to sew false eyelashes onto Elvira's eyelids, another excruciating procedure. Days later, bandages are removed, but Elvira's eyes ache and her vision blurs. While groping around for food, she accidentally wakes Agnes, now called Cinderella, by Rebecca. Despite all the cruelty, Cinderella helps her eat. In class, Madame Vanna learns that Agnes has been dismissed, and Sophie persuades her to give Elvira another chance. Her new beauty now impresses everyone. At home, Rebecca orders Cinderella to attend to Elvira's every need, feeding her, reading poetry, brushing her hair. But when she does, clumps of hair begin to fall out. Elvira panics, realizing she's going bald. Rebecca hides it under a golden wig provided by a stylist. The night before the ball, while everyone sleeps, Cinderella sneaks to her old room and finds her dress. She plans to attend the ball secretly, but Elvira catches her and in rage tears the dress apart. Rebecca reassures Elvira that Cinderella has no dress now and can't go. Heartbroken, Cinderella falls asleep beside her dead father's body. In a dream, her mother's spirit appears, promising to send her to the ball. Using magic, she commands worms from Otto's corpse to stitch the torn dress back together, gives Cinderella new shoes, and turns a pumpkin into a carriage. but she warns her to return before midnight, when the magic will fade. At the ball, Elvira's hair keeps falling, but Rebecca conceals it. Everyone is dazzled by Elvira's new beauty, even the king and Prince Julian. During the opening dance, Elvira performs flawlessly, earning admiration, until a mysterious girl in a blue gown and mask enters. It's Cinderella. Prince Julian abandons Elvira and invites the masked girl to dance. Jealous and sick, Elvira flees to a room and vomits, expelling the worm. Rebecca finds her, but orders her back to the floor. At midnight, the clock chimes. Cinderella runs away, losing one shoe. The prince picks it up, declaring that whoever fits the shoe will be his bride. Back home, Elvira is consumed by rage. When Cinderella refuses to hand over the shoe, a violent fight breaks out. Cinderella escapes, but the shoe is left behind. Rebecca, now with a new suitor, dismisses Elvira as useless. Desperate, Elvira tries on the shoe. It's too small. In madness, she slices off her toes to make it fit. Her screams bring Elma running, who tries to stop the bleeding. Rebecca appears and scolds Elvira for cutting the wrong foot. The prince has the left shoe, not the right. She then cuts the toes off the other foot herself. The next morning, Elvira wakes weak and disfigured. She crawls on the floor, unable to walk, and sees Cinderella outside meeting Prince Julian. When the shoe fits perfectly, he declares her his bride. Elvira's dreams shatter completely. Elma helps her sister and gives her a potion to expel the worm fully, saving her life. Together, the two sisters flee the mansion, leaving their cruel mother behind. Their future is uncertain, but at least they are free. At the beginning of the Ugly Stepsister movie, we see Elvira, her mother, and her sister leaving their home and moving to a new kingdom. Elvira is very happy because she admires the poetry written by Prince Julian of that kingdom and dreams of marrying him. Soon they arrive and meet an old man whom Elvira's mother is about to marry. The man has a daughter named Agnes, who is more beautiful and charming than Elvira and her sister. After the marriage, everyone seems happy, but the happiness doesn't last long. Just 2 days later, Agnes's father dies of a heart attack. When the news spreads, many people come to her house. People to whom he owed money. Upon learning that Elvira's mother is now his widow, they demand repayment and threaten to seize the mansion and land if they aren't paid soon. The truth is, Elvira's mother also has no money. She had married him for his apparent wealth and status, not knowing he was deeply in debt. Shocked and heartbroken, she falls into despair, feeling deceived and helpless. She worries that she's too old now to find another rich husband or fix her life, and their savings are nearly gone. Seeing her mother's sadness, Elvira promises to marry Prince Julian and solve everything. Her mother looks at her carefully, realizing Elvira isn't particularly beautiful or popular. It would take a miracle for the prince to choose her. Meanwhile, Agnes is also grieving. Her mother died earlier, and now her father is gone too. She prays by his body, asking her late mother to make everything right again. A few days later, the royal minister announces that Prince Julian has reached the age to marry, and in 4 months there will be a grand ceremony where he will choose his bride. Girls from across the kingdom can register to participate, and only those who appear perfect will have a chance. Elvira, already dreaming of marrying the prince, signs up. Agnes also registers. Elvira's mother, determined that her daughter must look perfect, decides to take her to a plastic surgeon. Despite having no money, she promises the doctor she'll pay after the ceremony.
The surgeon performs several painful surgeries on Elvira's breasts, nose, eyes, and ears. Each procedure is excruciating, but Elvira endures it for beauty. Meanwhile, she also attends a finishing school where girls learn manners and ballroom dancing. Agnes is already there, excelling at everything, graceful, elegant, and naturally beautiful. Their teacher, Miss Sophie, announces that only 16 girls will be selected for the ceremony. When the list is revealed, Agnes is ranked at the top and Elvira at the bottom. Miss Sophie tells Elvira that her name was only included because her mother paid for it, not because she earned it. At home, Elvira's mother hires a designer to make her the best dress, but he remarks that Elvira is overweight and must slim down first. Her mother puts her on a strict lemon water diet. Later, Miss Sophie meets each girl individually to assess their character. She sees that Elvira has suffered greatly trying to fit into society and pities her. She secretly gives her something to help, a tapeworm egg, saying it will make her lose weight quickly. Ignoring her sister's warnings, Elvira eats the egg, unaware of the harm it will cause. As months pass, she becomes weaker and hungrier, but thinner too. Agnes, now treated as a servant by their cruel stepmother, brings Elvira extra food in secret, hoping she'll fail to lose weight. 3 months later, Elvira's surgeries are complete. Her nose is perfectly shaped, her eyes altered with artificial lenses, and she looks stunning. But her health deteriorates. Her hair starts falling out as the parasite inside her eats away her body's nutrients.
As the ball approaches, Agnes finds her late mother's beautiful gown and decides to attend despite being forbidden. When Elvira sees it, jealousy consumes her and she tears the gown apart. Heartbroken, Agnes sits beside her father's decaying body and cries. Suddenly, her mother's spirit appears, giving her magical shoes and a spell, similar to Cinderella's story. The shoes will take her to the ball in a pumpkin carriage, but will lose their magic at midnight. Agnes wears the gown, now magically restored, and arrives at the royal ball. Everyone is mesmerized by her glowing beauty. Prince Julian immediately chooses her to dance with, abandoning Elvira. When Agnes's mask falls off, Elvira recognizes her and panics. Agnes flees, losing one shoe on the staircase as the clock strikes 12. The next day, the prince announces he will marry the girl whose foot fits the glass shoe. Furious, Elvira attacks Agnes and steals the other shoe, trying to force it onto her own foot, but it doesn't fit. Desperate, she cuts off her toes to make it fit, fainting from the pain. When she awakens, her mother, even more obsessed with wealth, cuts off her other foot's toes too, hoping the prince won't notice. Soon, the prince arrives at their home. Elvira tries to crawl toward him, but collapses, bleeding and broken. Agnes, wearing her mother's repaired gown, tries on the shoe, and it fits perfectly. The prince realizes she's the one from the ball and chooses her. Meanwhile, Elvira lies in agony. Her sister feels pity and gives her the antidote Miss Sophie had provided. She vomits, and the giant tapeworm comes out of her body. The week, she starts to recover. Knowing their mother will never stop exploiting them, the two sisters decide to run away together, leaving the greedy woman behind. They choose peace over ambition, and the movie, The Ugly Stepsister, ends with them walking away from the palace to start a new life.